Hello everybody and welcome to the grand finale of our birthday event. I'm sorry things didn't happen yesterday. For some reason or other, I don't even know what went wrong. So let's hope it doesn't happen today. Anyway, I've really enjoyed the birthday event and I hope you have too. And you've been a great source of encouragement to me. I've loved all your emails and your comments and the lovely suggestions of combinations that have been posted on the group forum. It's been a fun time, an inspirational and challenging time, and I hope that you've all enjoyed it. And today we are really going to have our freebies. I'm going to talk to you about the 16 designs that you're going to get today. Now, these are not limited to the 4x4 hoop. Some of them fit in the 200 by 200, the 8-inch square hoop. So not everything will convert to every format. Husk, the HUS format, is the most limited one because it's a very old format. So my apologies if you don't have the big hoops and you can't use all the designs. There are 2 zips for you to download today. One holds all the folders with each design in each subfolder, and the other zip has folders for each format. So whichever you prefer, that's the one to download. And don't put the whole zip file onto your computer. Open it up and just take the formats or the designs that you require. Now, we are going to have a look at some stitch outs I've done of the freebies that you're going to download today. Now, I've told you about the different zip files, and we're going to look at some of my stitch outs. This is a combination that I've done for the 200mm square hoop, and it's based on one of the combinations that was posted on the group forum. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I moved the leaves and tried to get the gaps between everything reasonably aligned. And I just think these little turquoise stars really make everything pop. The next design I want to show you is something new that you'll see in the grand finale designs, and there are 16, one for each year. I'm not quite sure if I mentioned that. And this is these blended shapes that go around these scrolls, and I first played with blending colours when I made the Rose Malin Christmas designs, and I thought that it would be nice to add this feature to the forthcoming collection. So here's your first look at the two scrolls and these blended elements, and I've done them in gold and that light jade. If you didn't want them to stand out quite so much, the dark blue wouldn't be appropriate, and perhaps a gold or the darker green, which is not actually on this stitch out, would look better. Now, if you remember, one of my videos was me playing with designs, and I created a block. And here on this one, we see my finished one that I actually did in my proper software, as I call it, and I've stitched it out in pastel colours just to show you how very different these designs look when you change the colours. This was stitched out ordinarily on 2 layers of stitch and tear, and the quilting stitches are the last colour block, and so before they were done I put on the back some batting.
So all the embroidery is done, and then the quilting stitches are done last, and I think you'll agree it's rather lovely. If I tip this up at an angle, hopefully the camera will pick up the contours that are formed, and you will find that this block is in your zip of all the designs that you're getting today. It's there with these pastel colours, and it's also available with the original colours of the collection. No collection is complete without a butterfly, and I've also included this big flower, and it has a base on it to stop puckering occurring. And looking at the collection, I decided that I needed to introduce one more star, and you can see that star in this stitch out here. Now, this particular design and a few others, and you'll have to search through them and look at the colour blocks for each design, but the ones that have the scalloped satin border, where I think is appropriate, I have put in a line of stitches underneath for you to trim if you want to do a satin edging. Now, this is a challenge. I've not tested it out. It's there for us all to test. But I would say that if you do the satin edging, it's not going to be the easiest thing because these are quite small scallops. But the important thing to remember is not to do this outline of triple stitches that go round. There is nothing to hold them in place when the fabric has been removed from the edge. Now, I'm going to tell you now that this collection has been named. I looked at all the suggestions you made, and in the end I went for Celestial Grace, which was recommended, or was a suggestion made by Cindy. So I'm very grateful to Cindy, and she'll get the whole collection when it is finished later this year, and I don't know when that'll be. You never know how long a collection is going to take to develop, but obviously the groundwork's been done. So thank you, Cindy, for the name Celestial Grace. And on that thought, I decided to make a panel. Now, this is the centre of the panel, and on this one you can see that I've done it on a beautiful light gold silk dupion. It has a nice border around it, but you don't have to do the border, and if you look carefully, the elements at the bottom here have been mirrored imaged at the top, and then we have stars and fill-ins in the middle. And this is a whole panel. This is the centre, and you have 4 corner designs, and you have a top and a bottom, and 2 sides. Now, I've actually got this the wrong way around, so I'm going to move that like that. The sides have been mirror imaged, but I would emphasise that if you're going to do this panel, the top and the bottom are not in mirror imaged, otherwise the stars are going upside down. But you'll see them all in your zip file, and I am going to probably at some point or other do a tutorial on putting this together. And this will be a paid-for tutorial at Graceful Embroidery, and those who've got the designs already will probably get a coupon code so they don't have to pay the full price for the tutorial. So that is the panel, and I invite you to play with that and see what you can come up with. There is in the zip file the complete panel with all 9 stitch outs on, and at the moment it eludes me what size hoop it is. It's a 360 by 260 hoop, I think. So that design won't be available to everybody because obviously the larger the designs go, they don't convert to every format, because you cannot convert a design to a format where there are no hoops that support that format. And things are improving because obviously hoops are getting larger, and they're getting even larger again, but that's another story. So please experiment with these designs, play with the scalloped edges, and there are some corners too, but you've got to be extremely careful about how you place your fabric. So I invite you to do that, have a play and share the results with the group and with me. That would be lovely. I didn't get round to actually doing a tutorial, a blog or a video on necklines. Necklines are very different for everybody, and the placement of designs has to be done individually. So I was asked this question. There wasn't time to cover that within the birthday event, but I will try and bear that in mind for the future. If you have an item of clothing and you want to do embroidery around the neckline, you really need to customize it, and that obviously takes a little bit of practice too. So we'll deal with that another day. I'm just scrolling up my list of stuff, because if I don't, I'll miss something I need to say. Because we got delayed yesterday, I did publish Pamela's blog, and she takes a few of these designs and stitches them out on an old handkerchief, and uses a very unusual stabilizer. So if you haven't viewed that yet, I invite you to do. It's quite a fascinating read. The next thing I wanted to tell you about was the logo competition. Thank you to everybody who took part. The logo stitch count was 111,076 stitches, and that included all the fonts. Let me just scroll this up. Most people who entered it got all the they got everything right. There were a few that were a little bit tricky, and I have to admit that the buttonholes, which came from the Beatrice collection, they even fooled me, because the logo has been created with a project that I've been working on for a while, which took out different elements from my collection. And so when I actually created the logo, I wasn't taking the elements from the collection, but taking them from this project that I've been working on. Not sure when that'll come, and you'll discover that when it is ready. But I had to identify them myself, and it took me ages to identify the buttonholes as coming from the Beatrice collection. I remember digitizing them, but just have to confess that I'm not able to identify all my designs straight away these days. The winner was Harmania. I hope I've said your name correctly, and her guess was 115,585 stitches, which was only 4,500 stitches over. And Susanna and Chris were not too far behind her. Their guesses were in the 120,000s. Why do I have these? It's very helpful to know your stitch count. It gives you an idea to a certain extent as to how much thread you're going to need for designs. Another thing I've looked at, we've had the Graceful Embroidery Group Forum for a while now, and I wanted to count up who has been the most active. I'm going to swap over the camera now so that you can actually see me, so I'll take a break in this. Right, I'm back again now. So as I was saying, I've looked at the group forum to see who's been the most active, and surprisingly enough, I've been the most active, but after me, the most active person was Marika. And I thank you, Marika, and Lydia, who was followed closely behind, who are very regular at posting within the group forum, and I appreciate their activity, and I shall be giving them some rewards to spend at Graceful Embroidery to thank them. So you can earn points in the group forum by posting pictures and making comments. So there we are. Right, now after yesterday's fiasco, I'm going to be taking some time off. But firstly, I want to say that the grand sale, the screen's just jumped down again, so I can't see what I'm reading. Before I do that, the sale is going to come to an end, and it really is going to end tonight at midnight. And that's midnight here in the UK. So that may be 5 to 8 hours ahead of people in America.
and Australia, I'm not quite sure. I get confused when I have to go in the other direction. But be aware of the time change. It will disappear at midnight tonight. And before I take a few days off, you will notice that there's going to be some price increases on the website. Not for everything, but some of my more recent designs will increase in price to $25. There will be lots more videos, lots more new designs coming in the year ahead. But first of all, I'm going to take a little bit of time off, and I will send out the zips of the designs for those who've asked for them. I'll do those next week. And I do thank you for your patience yesterday, and I'm so sorry that everything went horrendously wrong. I don't think I'll bother with the chat room. I think it's a little bit frustrating. It's not the easiest place. The screen is too small, and unless you wait for somebody else to be there, it's not ideal. So I don't think we'll bother with that today. Keep life simple. So thank you very, very much. And I do hope that the birthday event, which will repeat again next year, I haven't decided the time, but I hope that it's been a time of challenge and inspiration. And by the way, I have actually nearly finished preparing all the individual PDFs for the 11 entries that were in the competition. The writing competition will have to wait for a week or so, and I think it's best if we're only voting for one thing at a time. So I'll try and get the voting for that up today. Thank you to all those beautiful projects that you all made, and thank you for taking the effort. And I hope now, with those entries fresh in your mind, there's no better time than to think about what you would do next year for your entry if you entered. So and although I give it a title, it's quite a vague title. It's not too limiting on what you have to do, so it covers most sort of projects that you want to do. So let's hope that now when I go and try and upload this to YouTube, I don't have the issues that I had yesterday. At one point, it slowed it down so much you couldn't hear what I was saying, so I really don't know what happened to my cameras at that point. But anyway, hopefully it'll all be all right today. So thank you very much. Thank you for your sweet remarks and all the lovely comments and emails that you've sent to me. And don't forget, download your freebies. They're there for 2 weeks. I won't be taking them down for a while, but play with them and let me know what you want to do with them. Inspire me, because obviously I've got 4 more sets to create for the Celestial Grace collection. I think I've waffled for long enough now. So until next time, happy embroidering. Bye for now.